Welcome to part 5 of Godzillathon, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's movie, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack!
Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, 大怪獣総攻撃!
This movie is perhaps my favorite movie out of all the movies made in the Millennium generation. Mainly because it is so different from all the other movies. This movie, it combines the Godzilla story into Japanese folklore. And it's quite interesting how they do it. And they kind of flip the script in regards to, well, for one thing, King Ghidorah, he's a good guy. And so is Mothra, of course. And there's also another monster in the fray, Baragon. And they actually use Baragon in a pretty cool way, if you ask me. I mean, he's not just a throwaway monster like sometimes whenever you get a bunch of giant monsters together in one film. You got one or two that are just kind of throwaway, but Baragon is actually an integral part of the movie, and I kind of wish they would have given him equal billing and changed the name to Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Baragon, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack. As if the title couldn't get any longer. So the movie revolves around a investigative journalist who works for a really low-budget investigation journalist establishment. I don't know the word for it. She is investigating, well, Godzilla, and the 3 guardian monsters that are said to embody the souls of dead Japanese people, and they're supposed to unite one day and basically protect Japan from Godzilla, because all Godzilla wants to do is destroy Japan. Basically, that's what he wants to do in just about every one of his movies. Godzilla has a very interesting look. For one thing, he's blind, but it doesn't appear that he's blind because he gets around pretty well, but he looks blind. I don't know. And I thought it was very interesting the way that his roar sounded in this movie. I don't know if you could quite hear it, but it seems to me they kind of sort of mix Godzilla's 2 distinctive roars. Of course, you have the roar that he has in most of his movies. It goes something along the lines of and of course the other roar that he had in some of the movies he did in the 80s, the early 90s, and of course the very first Godzilla movie. Hopefully you followed that. Anyway, so to me, the special effects in this movie, they weren't bad, but the monster effects themselves were really top-notch. You had the traditional guy dressing up in the monster suit, and honestly, with some of the digital effects, it really looked good. Some of the digital stuff was a little bit cheesy, but not nearly as bad as Godzilla Final Wars. As a matter of fact, I kind of wish that this would have been the last Godzilla movie made for 10 years. Of course, if it was, probably more Godzilla movies would have been made between the years of 2004 and now. But that's just my opinion. But for a Godzilla movie, I'd have to say that just about every production value of this movie, the sets, even the acting and the script itself, it was pretty good for a Godzilla movie. And just good in general, I mean, if you like movies.
12月15日大公開!
Well, that is the last review of all the past Godzilla movies made. Be sure to join me next week for the epic conclusion of Godzillathon as I review Godzilla 2014. Until then, as far as things go when things go bump in the night, there are such things.